So welcome friends to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see the computational biology topic that is introduction to protein interaction. So how exactly this protein are interact and how we are going to use the bioinformatic tools to study the protein interaction at molecular level or a protein level. Then the protein control and mediate many of the biological activity of the cell. As we know, the protein is the functional aspect of the cell that at the ground level it is working, the final product we can say, which is working for a cell to communicate or a signal or any other activities. A cell is not a static. It can change the shape, it can divide, it having the various metabolism. So all these processes are including the protein interaction. All cells are not equivalent. As we know, the cell shape and various activity functionally they are different. For example, lymphoid cell, then the neural cell. As we know, the lymphoid cells are the immunological cell, and the neural cell which are present in the brain or the nervous system, they are totally different by structure, also by the function. So why are protein interactions so important? So why we are giving the importance to the protein interaction within the cell? The binding of one signaling protein to another can have a number of consequences. As we know, a single protein if binds to the another protein, it causes the various signal transduction pathways activation. Also, it causes the different functionality for that particular cell. Such binding can serve to recruit a signaling protein to a location where it is activated and or where it is needed to carry out its function. Yes. Then the binding of one protein to another can induce conformational changes that affect activity or accessibility of additional binding domains, permitting additional protein interactions. So as I discussed that the single protein binding to the another protein can cause the different pathway activation, or it can change the shape also, and it can cause the various functional disabilities or the activation. So both can be happen. Then also you can imagine a cell in which suddenly the specific interaction between protein could disappear. This unfortunate cell would become deaf and blind and paralytic, and finally would disintegrated, because specific interaction are involved in the almost any physiological process. So you cannot imagine that the protein with the lack of the protein interaction, because it causes the cell become blind, or you can say it is a paralytic cell. So it doesn't having any function. So that's why the protein interaction are most important part of the cell biology and the molecular biology and the computational biology. So what are the impact on the other field? So as we know, the major nowadays the major factor that is concern, that is cancer biology. The study of the protein interaction has provided important insight into the function of the many of the known oncogenes, tumor suppressors, and the DNA repair proteins. So in this field there is advance in the oncogenes, tumor suppressors, and the DNA repair protein. Also pharmacogenetics is the new field which pharmacogenetics research has expanded to include the study of drug transporters, drug receptors, and the drug targets. So this in this field also the protein interaction study is major factor. So coming to the first point, that is the type of a protein interaction. As we know, there are various types. The first type is the binary protein interaction, which we can say that direct physical interaction between the protein. So this is the known as the binary protein interaction. Then scaffold proteins, one of the example, it is scaffold protein. As we know, scaffold protein means it is the regulators of many key signaling pathway. So these are the crucial regulators for the many key pathways within the cell. So one of the example here, it is the yeast mating factor, that is mitogen. As you can see in this picture, the gamma particle and gamma G and beta G, which are interacting with the exterior pheromones, that is the signal which is given by the another cell. So it is responding to that cell. So how it is responding at the protein level, you can see the STE20, it is the protein. It is also called as the mitogen activating protein kinase. So it is made up of serine threonase kinase, which turn activate the scaffold fold binding protein STE11, which turn interacting the STE7, that is dual specificity kinase. You can say it as a MEK. So MEK finally turns around the fuse 3 protein. The fuse 3 protein, also called the MAPK, also it is called as a MAPK, which is the also a kinase protein, which dissociation result in the mating decision in the yeast. So the dissociation of the fuse 3 protein caused the mating decision in the yeast. Mitogen is the protein which induced the cell division. So ultimately the mitogens which cause the cell division. So this is the various different proteins which are present on the STE5 scaffold protein. So this is the process of the mating in the yeast. So the type of the protein interaction and another classifications. So metabolic and signaling pathways also include the protein-protein interaction. Then morphogenic pathway, in which group of protein participate in the same cellular function during a development process, but the structural and complexes and molecular mechanism in which numerous micromolecules are brought together. So this is the basic difference between morphogenic pathway and the structural and complex molecular mechanism, which is including the numerous macromolecules and are brought together for the functionality. So one of the signaling pathway you can see here, the mitogens and tropines, which are responsible for the binding at the receptor tyrosine kinase, which activate the MAPK, that is, as I told, it is a mitogen activating protein kinase, which is lead to the cell division and other activities. Also there are different proteins which are signaling to the pathway, that are CD40, various trace protein, then inflammatory cytokinesis also carried out in the signaling pathway. So coming to the morphogenic pathway, which I have quoted here, morphogenic pathway. In this pathway you can see the SHH, that is sonic hedgehog, that is signal which is received by the PTC receptor. The PTC receptor is inhibiting the smoothen protein transducer, which turn around that if the smoothen protein is deactivated, the GLI proteins are turned deactivated. So one must deactivate the PTC to carry out the further process. So this is the glycogen metabolism, that is for the proliferation, you can see here. So PTC, if it is turned down by the SHS, sonic hedgehog pathway, which activate the smoothen. So smoothen is activating the various GLI1, GLI2, GLI3. So what is GLI? It is transcription factors, which is responsible for transcription regulation of the gene, which is responsible for the proliferation. So for this, by this the GLI1 and 2 and 3, which is turn the activation of the gene for the proliferation, and which is giving the proliferation of the cell. So this is the morphogenic pathway we studied. Then structural complexes and molecular mechanism. So chaperone, as we know, chaperone is the protein refolding mechanism, which is carried out by the chaperones. So coming to the experimental method, from where we are generating the data, and that data is we are storing as a bioinformatic database. So the primary data which is generated from this experimental method, we can say the wet lab methods. The tag fusion protein, this is the one method in which the fluorescent tag is used to tag the protein, so we can detect the protein interaction or the protein function. The second method is co-immunoprecipitation. In this, the target specific protein antibodies which are indirectly capture on the protein bind to the target protein. So by this way we can study the interaction between the two protein or the unknown protein. Then next method is it is is to hybrid method, which is a molecular based method. Then Bicore method, that is it is used to measure the binding affinity or the kinetic rate constant. It is mostly thermodynamic measuring method, which read the kinetic rate of constant of the binding protein. Then next is atomic force microscopy. So atomic force microscopy, as we know, this method is including the microscopic method, the interaction at the atomic level. Then next is the fluorescence resonance energy transfer, the FRET method. You can, as you know, the biomolecule with close proximity are measured here, especially the ligand and the receptors are measured. The interaction are taken consideration here. Then in this case, the distance dependent transfer of the energy is calculated. The distance between the two ligand, both of them, that is ligand and receptor, should be 8 to 10 nanometer distance. So one of them we can consider as the donor and receptor. So between these two, the distance dependent transfer of energy is calculated, that is fluorescence. Then the next is X-ray diffraction. The X-ray diffraction is, as we know, in this method we use the monochromatic X-ray, which interacts within the crystalline samples. The sample should be crystalline. It is used for crystallographic structure determination of the two interacting substance and proteins. So all these are the methods which are used for the interaction, protein-protein interaction, and generating the data, primary data, which we can use for as a secondary data in the bioinformatics. So coming to the next, these are the experimental methods, what they have importance. All this is given here. The first comprise the atomic observation, in which the protein interaction is detected using, for example, X-ray crystallography. As I told, this experiment can yield specific information on the atom or residue involved in the interaction. The second is the direct interaction observation, where protein interaction between the two parents can be detected, as in the two hybrid experiment, each two hybrid experiment. The third level of the observation, multi-protein complexes can be detected using methods such as immunoprecipitation or the mass specific analysis. This type of experiment does not unveil the chemical details of the interaction. So this point must be taken, that is, it is not enabling the chemical details of the interaction, or even reveals which protein are in direct contact, but give information as to which protein are found in a complex at a given time. So the fourth category comprises the measurement at the cellular level, where an active bioassay is used to observe an interaction. For example, proliferation assay of the cell, as we studied morphogenical pathway, by a receptor ligand interaction. As I told, the receptor ligand interaction, that is the method mainly used is FRET method, in which the ligand and receptor interaction is carried out. The active bioassay, you can say. By this assay we can measure the morphogenetic interaction of the protein. So from this, how to see the interaction between this protein, and how to use the primary data through the computational biotechnology. There are various softwares which are freely available on net, that is one of which is BIND. The full form is Biomolecular Interaction Network database. So we will look at to this. So first we will going to see the background, what is BIND, then how to use BIND, and some of the references I have put it here. So coming to the BIND, so BIND is a recently advanced in the proteomics technology such as hybrid 2 is to hybrid phase display and mass spectrometry have enabled us to create a detailed map of molecular interaction network. Initial mapping efforts have already produced a wealth of data. As the size of the interaction set increases, the database and computational method will be required to store. Yes, the interaction size is much larger, only considering the cell having the billions of the interactions. So for this we need the computational data and the computational method, so to visualize and analyze the information in order to effectively aid in the knowledge discovery. For the protein-protein interaction, there are many websites can be reached here. I just shown several, that is BIND, then DIP, database of interaction attracting protein, and protein-protein interaction server, protein-protein interference. There are various methods. So first we are going to look the BIND. What is BIND? So BIND is the technology, the detailed biomolecular interaction data which we got here, then which gives the wealth of the data. It is giving the wealth of data, but to store or analyze it is difficult. So for this, some database and software developed within which the BIND is included. So BIND is for to store full information of the interacting and molecular complexes and pathways. Also for this, the BIND 2.0 is developed, which lead to the virtually interaction of the two molecules, example protein of nucleic acid and small molecules, and which lead to the use of the graphic also theory application to this data. So BIND can now used in the proteomics effect as post translation modification data by mass spectrometry. So this is the general information regarding the BIND. So what kind of the data stored in the BIND? As I told, the interaction, then complexes, then pathways, different pathways we can store. So it can accept data from all the cells. So currently the BIND having the database statistics, that is interaction database, then biomolecular pathway database, molecular complex database, organism represented, then various, you can see the interaction database is 15,145. So what BIND can and cannot do? So BIND it can accept the data from all the cell system, but cannot reflect the potentiality of the database. So this is the drawback. Then so efforts are constantly taken to make the interface easier. So interface is not that much easier, so efforts are taken. Then currently BIND can accept the record of protein and protein nucleotide interaction. Then BIND data extension available as you can see the BIND data extension available in ASN.1 file. The ASN1 is the abstract syntax notation 1, allow to exchange the structure and content. So this format can allow the structure and exchange of a structure and content. There is also XML format, that is text based language used to store and organize the data. Also DTD format is also available. So coming to the interaction, so in this you can see in this image the two protein are interacting. The information is given. The gray shape represents the autonomous domain in protein A and B that mediate a protein-protein interaction. The black line in this gray shape represents the polypeptide chain that continue outside of this domain to make up the rest of the protein. So you can see here the gray line. Then next is the protein-protein interaction between these two domains is mediated by the two binding sites. Here you can see the two binding sites. Then the first pair, a salt bridge, consists of the single amino acid on the molecule A. You can see the molecule A, slide 0, and the single amino acid on B. So you can see the B here. So these two are interacting. These two are interacting here like this. So these two amino acid forms the first binding site pair. The second pair consists of the range of the amino acid. So these two pairs contain the range of the amino acid. This containing the single amino acids. With the interaction, this containing the multiple amino acids on the A and B also. These two range of the amino acid forms the second binding site pair. So this is second binding site pair. This is the first binding site pair. So this is the diagrammatical representation of the interacting protein. Then this structure, you can say this is the domain which contain the polypeptide chains which is interacting. So A domain and B domain. As we know, domain is the structural and functional unit of the protein. So coming to the first example, how to use the bind interaction viewer in the Java applications. So bind interaction viewer Java application show how molecule can be connected in the database from molecular complex to small molecule. So in this picture you can see they have used here the GRB protein, that is GRB, and LAT, that is linker for the activation of the T cells. So this is the LAT linker for the activation of the T cell, and GRB. So GRB2 adapter protein which assemble of the multiple protein signaling complex. So this is the multiple protein signaling complex which is associated with the GRB2, having the SH2 domain phosphotyrosine. So HS2 bind to the LAT. So within this, the SH2 binds to the LAT, that is linker for the activation of the T cell. So binding of the SH2 of the GRB causes the progression of the cell cycle of the T cell, then motility and the differentiation of the cell. So here you can see how these are interacting with each other, GRB2 and LAT, which is responsible for the proliferation or the progression of the T cell, then motility and differentiation of the T cells, which is explained in the yellow protein, and the purple small molecules, then the white various color have been given for the better understanding. This is the Java viewer application for the bind. So these are some references I have quoted here, which will be useful to understand the bind and other softwares. So thank you friends for watching this video. Thank you.